Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, for those who remember, Professor Mutahi Ngunyi came out with the narrative of Tyranny of Numbers in 2013, which propelled President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto to winning 2013 election and even 2017. And again, this time round, Professor Mutahi Ngunyi is coming out with another new tyranny of number ahead of this 2022 general election, just barely 7 days to the general election. And in his new tyranny of numbers, Ngunyi is explaining how Raila Odinga is going to win this election with a margin of 51.3% and William Ruto is going to get 45%. That means Raila Odinga will get about 8 million votes and William Ruto is going to get 7 million votes. This is what he tweeted. Just want to go through it and we will see how he's explaining, because he's saying he has studied the election from 1992 to 2017 for a period of about 30 years, 6 elections. This is what he's saying. Raila win will be 51.3%, Ruto 45%. This is the new tyranny of numbers. Take it or leave it. I will explain how Kikuyus will betray Ruto next week. That's Mutahi Ngunyi. But then he put a link there. If you follow the link, you will get to his video. He has explained clearly how Kikuyus have behaved in the election from 1992, 1997, 2002, 2007, 2013, and 2017. And he has explained exactly how Kikuyus behave if they have 2 candidates on ballot. For example, when Kibaki was on ballot and President Uhuru Kenyatta was also in ballot, they vote 66% versus 33%. That means at least every candidate will get votes. Popular 66% and the other one 33%. And he has also explained how Kikuyu have turned out when they have a candidate on ballot to a tune of 95% turnout during the election. And therefore, on this pagina today, I want us to use this opportunity to check on possibilities of what Mutahi Ngunyi is saying. Because according to Mutahi Ngunyi, he's saying that if history is faithful to science, that means what he has studied from 1992 to 2017, then there is no way William Ruto is going to defeat Raila Odinga in this election. It is clear that Raila will have a clear win. So we want to look into that, but before we go deep in that side, just a quick request. You might be watching this channel, but you have not yet subscribed. So my humble request, please consider subscribing so that another time, once we release a new video, you will always get notified. Again, to all our channel subscribers and anyone who comment, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend our videos to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, we are all aware that in 2007, we had an election in this country which involved one community against all. President Mwai Kibaki, the late, was seeking for second term in office, but then he had betrayed Raila Odinga and his team. And so Raila and his troops moved out. Kibaki remained alone. And in that election, we had all the 42 communities, against Kikuyu community. Let me say, all communities in this country against the Gema. But because the deep state had interest of retaining Mwai Kibaki as the president, Kibaki retained power. But again, we know there was an issue of handshake and nusu mkate. It was an inevitable election. Besides this, we are aware that in 2013 general election, again, we had a repeat of two communities against all. That was the Gema and the Kalenjin community. But the other communities were voting with Raila Amolo Odinga. Musalia Mudavadi tried to be on ballot that time, but still Luyas hawakumpigia kura sana. He got something about 480,000 votes. So close to 500,000 votes. So still it was two communities against all. But again, President Uhuru Kenyatta found his way to power. Then we had 2017 general election. The voters behaved in the same manner they behaved in 2013. It was two communities against all. And after that election, we are aware that the election was nullified by CJ Maraga because of how that election was handled. Alisema election is not an event, it is a process. And because there was some drama in the process, he nullified. The truth of the matter is that we all know that if they could have opened servers, the clear winner could have been announced. And it was not Uhuru Kenyatta. That's why the servers were not opened. And that's why Maraga was able to nullify this election without even blinking an eye. He was sure of what he was doing. And we understand how Uhuru and all those other people who have been in the election, like Kibaki, were getting to 50+1. Because for William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta to win election, we know that we had a dirty register. IBC register was dirty. It was carrying the dead voters. It was carrying ghost voters. It was carrying underage voters. And all of that electorate, or let me say all of that constituency, was voting for the deep state candidate. That's why they were finding their way to power and their numbers were being justified. But now in this election, we have William Samoei Ruto, who is a Kalenjin. But again now he's coming out to use the same formula they had before. Because Ruto, the way he has campaigned, definitely he has not managed to convince other communities to totally rally behind him, despite the fact that he managed to convince the leaders from other communities to be with him. The problem is he did not convince the voter totally to vote for him up to now. So still we might have Kalenjin and the Kikuyus largely voting together, but these other communities will be voting the same way they have voted before. And the challenge comes in here that the ghost voters, dead and underage, might not be on ballot. They might not vote in this election. And that alone becomes a nightmare to the candidature of William Samoei Ruto. Because now we have been having Kikuyu turning, the Gema community turning out up to about 94% in the election because they had a candidate to defend. This time round, it is William Ruto. They are only having a running mate. That means if they have been turning 94%, turnout could be maybe 80 or 70% there, because their interest is not that much. So look at that. Then you add the other issues I've talked about. Issues are cleaning the register. So we have Kalenjin and the Kikuyus and the Gemas voting together. The reason why other communities might not vote for Ruto, despite kama kina Mudavadi and the Wetangula and the team going there, is that there have been a feeling in this country that we have been led by two communities. If it is not a Kalenjin, it is a Kikuyu. If it's not a Kikuyu, it is a Kalenjin. And therefore Kenyans are tired of having two communities. They are thinking about at least bringing in another community to break this ceiling. And seemingly, the individual who has that chance could be Raila Odinga. That's why in this election we might have two communities against all. Now, Mutahi Ngunyi brought in the issue of Kikuyus having two candidates on ballot, then turn out when they count the votes, it will emerge that one candidate will have 66%, another one 33%. Who are these candidates in this election? Definitely, it is Rigathi Gachagua and Martha Karua. Gachagua with William Ruto, Martha Karua with Raila Odinga. And because Ruto has been popular in Mount Kenya, it means Gachagua will manage to marshal about 66% to William Ruto. And then Martha Karua, because it's bringing in now Raila Odinga, she will be able to get 33%. So that means Karua is bringing about 1.4 million votes. Na hizo zingine zinabakia Ruto. So if you put what Mutahi Ngunyi is talking about together, it can be clear that Raila Odinga can manage to get 8 million votes and William Ruto might have 7 million votes. What Mutahi Ngunyi will not talk about is the issue of cleaning the register. Hii hataongelea because it has always worked in their favor. So, to me, I agree with Mutahi Ngunyi that this election is going to have a clear winner, and that winner could be Raila Odinga. If you go to Coast Region, the vote that Ruto will get, itakuwa ya Gema. If you go to other areas like Nairobi, he might be getting at least Gemas. But Raila Odinga is getting across overboard. Everyone will vote for him because everyone is agitating for change. Ruto failed to convince Kambas. He failed to convince Luyas. He has failed to convince the Maasais. Even Turkanas are divided. That's why in this election, Raila still stands a better chance. That's my view as far as Mutahi Ngunyi remarks is concerned. I don't know what to think about this, lakini tupatane kwa comment section so that we can have a continuation of this conversation.